All right, our opening weekend of the baseball season is in the books, and we already have our first hot topic, maybe our first major controversy of the season, and that would be my New York Yankees and their wide adoption of the Torpedo bats. Yes, Torpedo bats are all the rage. Odd-shaped bats that look a little bit like a bowling pin, skinnier towards the top and thicker towards the middle of the bat, designed to give the hitters more wood, thicker part of the bat where they make the most contact with the baseball. And I can't believe it, after 150 years of baseball, we finally have revolutionized maybe the most important piece of equipment in the game, and that was the baseball bat. Now, some fans are crying foul, screaming that this is illegal, the Yankees are cheating. I think if another team was doing this, the cries would be a little bit less, but it is the Yankees, so naturally they're going to see some major pushback. And could the pushback be strong enough to see a change by MLB? The MLB has already come out and spoken and said these bats are totally legal. We approve these bats. They're fine to use. But I think what we're really going to see is wide adoption across the league. But let's get into the backstory about how these bats came into being. And if you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. So yes, after a monster opening weekend for the Yankees and their wide use of the Torpedo bat, it is caught in the MLB world by storm. The Yankees scoring 36 runs in their 3 games against the Brewers, including 9 home runs in the game on Saturday. One of the most home runs, franchise record most home runs in a single game for the Yankees. And it was mentioned on the Yankees broadcast about the new adoption of these Torpedo bats. Now, there had been some rumor and buzz about these in spring training about them. See my guy Jazz Chisholm here rocking the Torpedo bat. And as you see, it's thinner towards the top of the bat with a little bit of thickness in that meat of the bat. And this kind of all came together all the way back in 2023, where the Yankees had a former MIT professor, MIT graduate, was a physics professor at Michigan, wanted to become a baseball coach, became a hitting coach, and they tasked my man Aaron Leonhardt with designing a new bat, or talking in analytics. And he really didn't know anything about baseball bats, but within 2 weeks, he knew everything about baseball bats. And he came up with this new design to make the thickest part of the bat where most contact is made with the baseball. Crazy. It's a crazy concept. Who would have ever thought that possible? But I guess it took an MIT scientist guy to figure this shit out. Now, the bats are within specifications for the MLB rule book. The MLB is a little kind of wide and varied on what the bats can look like. And we know this. Guys have used unique and different bats. Nobody swings the exact same bat as anybody else in the major leagues. The only requirements are a round and smooth texture, so you can't have like sandpaper type texture on the bat. The barrel diameter can be no greater than 2.61 inches, which these bats fall into conformity with, and they can't be longer than 42 inches. You can't be swinging a 43-40 over here, some Babe Ruth ass bat like that. But now the design comes out like a bowling pin, and there are some trade-offs with these new bats. The new bats are slightly different. There's no change in weight or length with the old bats, but you're losing a little bit at the edge of the bat. I mean, it makes sense. If you push some of the wood down to the heart of the bat, you're going to lose some meat at the top end. And the numbers back this up. The exit velocity on balls off the end of the bat are dropped a mile per hour with these new bats, but you're gaining about 1.5 miles per hour to 2 miles on the new thick part of the bats. And that can be the difference between a long fly ball and an out. And we saw that in play in Yankee Stadium this weekend. Now, Yankee Stadium is a bandbox, but the 5 players who adopted this new style of bat had 9 home runs over the weekend. But most importantly, maybe the biggest thing is your reigning MVP, Aaron Judge, who led the way with 4 home runs this weekend, has not adopted the new bat. He is stuck with the older traditional bat, the bat that he broke the AL home run record with. But this isn't a new thing. Again, this was tasked in 2023. This guy was tasked with coming up with the design. The design has been put out there, and the guys have been using them in the batting cages in spring training, trying to work them. And there really wasn't wide adoption in the game. But it really caught steam after Yankee slugger Giancarlo Stanton switched to that bat and started using it last season. He built belted 7 home runs in 14 postseasons game, was pretty much unstoppable, and a lot of people around the organization credited this new bat design. Now, there's also some negative drawbacks to this potentially. Giancarlo Stanton developed double elbow injuries. Now, Giancarlo Stanton is made of glass, but some people are saying with the new bat design and the swings with the distribution of the weight changes can cause some issues. So now there's some science behind it, like what's going on. Are these bats all they are cracked up to be? Now, definitely some impact there. Jazz Chisholm yesterday hit a home run on that fat part of the bat, and it just cleared over the wall. So I think that definitely had an impact for it. But of course, fans across the leagues, like I said, freaking out, crying, and MLB has already come out and spoken and said, we had to approve these. We approved these. These have been clear for a while. And it's really been kind of going around all over the league. Cody Bellinger said the Cubs had toyed with this idea last year. They had tried them out sometimes in batting practice, but no real adoption or use in the game. And the Yankees are getting the headlines because of their crazy run output, crazy production for them. But realistically, there was a wide variety of players using these bats, confirmed to be using the bats for opening weekend. This seems to be the new trend. All the analytics, all the focus has been on pitching. Pitching has been taking over baseball, and baseball's kind of gone to shit with their offensive production, and the offense is finally counteracting it. You want to throw these crazy hard sinkers, these cutters, these jam pitches. Well, we're going to thicken up that part of the bat where the ball is going to be moving in towards, and we're going to generate more power, more exit velo, and create more hits. But look at this wide list of guys who have confirmed to adopted the bats this weekend. We had our 5 Yankees: Bellinger, Chisholm, Goldschmidt, Volpe, and Wells all had great opening weekends. Now, could it be a combination of the bats and the terrible Brewers pitching? I think so. Brewers relief pitcher Trevor McGill was bitching about the bats, saying they need to be banned, but of course, they're the Yankees, so they'll let it slide, but like anybody can use them. Everybody can use them, and in fact, I think we're going to see everybody use them. Maybe your pitching's just shit, my guy. But Orioles catcher Adley Rutschman, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Orner of the Cubs. That goes back to what Bellinger was saying about the Cub. Ryan Jeffers, Twins catcher. Francisco Lindor. Lindor did go 0 for 13 in their opening series, so maybe the bats are a little bit of an improvement. Could be a lot of a mental boost to some of these guys. Rays young phenom Junior Caminero, who was using the bats, and Blue Jays outfielder Davis Schneider. And there's some other guys out there that not 100% confirmed allegedly using them. I know that Rhys Hoskins of the Brewers said he already ordered a bunch of those bats. And how could you not if you think there's going to be an edge there? You see the boost there, because look at this. This is the meat of the bat. This is where we're driving the ball in, and now it's thicker and harder. Makes a lot of sense. It's crazy. I know. A revolutionary idea. I can't believe somebody hasn't come up with this idea before that. Like, just make it thicker and harder where you hit the baseball. Now, everyone knows the big fat wiffle ball bats that you play with growing up as a kid, and it's kind of something similar to that. But where are we going to do with this? Is MLB going to ban these bats? They said the bats are okay. We approved it. Baseball wants runs. Baseball wants home runs. Everybody wants to get the ratings up. Baseball's done an incredible job over the last few years, kind of modernizing the game. We have the pitch clock. We have the bigger bases, speeding things up, and average viewership and attendance is up across the league. Baseball is actually growing. We're seeing a decline in other major sports in the United States like basketball, whereas baseball's ratings are going up even with the 162 game schedule over the course of 7 months. People are watching and going to more baseball games. And if you're gonna get offensive driven production, this is exactly the kind of thing you're gonna want to see. Now, is the naming and branding for this gonna potentially hurt it? When you hear torpedo bats, it sounds illegal, it sounds crazy, it sounds like something that they're going to change, but it's well within the rules of baseball. And let's be honest, baseball, Rob Manfred really only gives a shit about one thing: his legacy and ratings. And that's why he added the pitch clock. The old timers bitched and complained about it, but it's been a major improvement for baseball. And I think we're going to see a very similar situation with these new style of bats. I think the old bats are out. Guys are going to be, switching over to them. Is it going to have some difference? Absolutely. But guess what? People want to see hits. People want to see runs. People want to see home runs. We're going to have pitchers adjust to it. And plus, if you miss with this off the end of the bat, we're going to start seeing a lot of firewood out there. These bats are going to be more prone to splintering, I think, with the thinner shape towards the top end of the barrel. But Really, really interesting stuff out of this weekend. I do quite enjoy when people and fans of other teams are screaming and crying and bitching that the Yankees are cheating, because they just seem to have been a little bit smarter and ahead of the curve on something like this. But it should make for a lot of fun for the rest of the season. I'm expecting wide adoption across the league of these new Torpedo bats, and we'll see over large sample sizes what the overall difference is and what the impact is for these kind of bats. So don't expect any changes at all anytime soon, at least for this season. Now, if it's something ridiculous and it gets out of control with baseball, maybe we'll see a thinning, a little bit of a thinning, but still a little extra boost, because chicks dig the long ball, and the MLB needs to see those runs, needs to see those ratings. And when it's all said and done at the end of the day, offense is king in baseball when it comes to fan viewership. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you in favor of the Torpedo bats? Do you hate the Torpedo bats? Do you want your team to start using some Torpedo bats? We need some Torpedo bat shirt. It's just a great branding overall. It's fun to say, it's fun to joke about, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for daily sports content. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks and content and stuff to use, badges, emojis, things to use in the live streams throughout the year, as well as exclusive videos, baby. We're going to be pumping out more exclusive videos for you guys, trying to get more consistent on that. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Check out the links down below. Sign up for our community Discord, a place to chat sports with all fellow members of the community. And if you want to go check out one of your baseball teams live and in person, check out NBA, NHL playoffs, head on over to SeatGeek.com. Use code AfterTheReview for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com. Code AfterTheReview for $20 off your first purchase. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.